Well, this is the shitty part about the business. The Jets are adding players, re-signing players, and that means eventually they got to release players. None like veteran captain and team leader C.J.Mosley. He has been dumped. He's getting cut into free agency. We'll talk about the end of an era, the freakish neck injury that contributed to this, and so much more. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Assistant Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. We're live every single day at 7:30 in the morning, and plus, as you've seen on the channel, we have videos for every Jets signing that they have made so far in free agency. Quick, short videos. I reach out to people with the teams that I have sources or relationships with and try to give you guys some sort of a scoop ski potato on who these guys are or what's going on or things of that nature. And I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of the free agents the Jets have signed, but it would be an oversight if I just skipped over the news that the Jets are cutting team leader, linebacker, do-it-all man, C.J.Mosley. Like I said, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of nuggets on all these Jet free agents they've signed. I do want to talk about all that, but I'd be remiss if we didn't start an episode giving a salute to the captain, oh, captain, my captain, C.J.Mosley. Now, this isn't surprising news. It's not. Jamien Sherwood was re-signed to a monster deal, making him one of the highest-paid off-ball linebackers in football on a 3-year deal for $45 million, $30 million of that guaranteed. Jamien Sherwood started the season as a backup, and then he ended it as the full-time starter at linebacker, and again, receiving a generationally enriching contract that clearly said he's going to be a starter moving forward. Another one of your linebackers is Quincy Williams. Now, he's heading into the last year of his deal, and there is some murkiness around what the Jets are going to do with Quincy Williams. We'll crack that egg perhaps a different day. But it seemed inevitable that this would likely be the result for the New York Jets and C.J. Mosley. We'll see if C.J. Mosley even continues his career. So last season, he appeared in 4 games. And the reason for that is he had complicating injury issues. He had a toe issue and a neck issue, the more serious of which obviously was the neck. And they will be designating him as a post-June 1 cut, which means his remaining cap hit, that's $16.5 million, will now be spread over 2 years, $8.8 million this year and $7.7 million in 2026. But the Jets have to carry the full current cap charge, which is $12.8 million, on the books until June 1st, and then they will receive cap relief on June 2nd. That is the same move the Jets plan on doing with Aaron Rodgers. Every NFL team is allowed a maximum of 2 June 1 post designations. So the Jets are using it on C.J. Mosley, and reportedly they're using it on Rodgers, which means they'd be out of post June 1 designations to use for those counting at home. So that means that the Jets will eventually get a net savings of $4 million. That's coming on June 2nd specifically for C.J. Mosley. And like I said, it stinks because what a story for C.J. Mosley. This is a guy who in 2019, Mike Maccagnan, there's a name you didn't think you were going to hear today. Mike Maccagnan went on a free agency spending spree in 2019. He paid Le'Veon Bell. We were all, as Jet fans, listening to rap albums dropped at midnight to try to unlock some sort of a Da Vinci code to see, is Le'Veon Bell signing with us? Did he reference a plane, which could be a jet, which could mean he's signing with us, or is he going somewhere else? You remember those free agency times? What the hell? Yeah, that happened. Okay. Mike Maccagnan went on a spending spree, spent crazy money on Le'Veon Bell, and then gave record-setting money to C.J. Mosley. Here's a fun little nugget. You may not be aware of this. For all of 5 seconds, Quan Alexander, another former Jet, Quan Alexander became the highest-paid linebacker in football for like 5 minutes with the San Francisco 49ers. Got a nice deal. He's the highest-paid linebacker. And then the Jets said, hold my beer, pal. And then they reset the linebacker market by multiple millions. It was at least 2, 3, 4 million. And then C.J.Mosley became the guy. So Quan Alexander has that on his title somewhere in his resume. Highest paid linebacker temporarily. And then C.J.Mosley took it over. And then Mike McCagnon was fired after the draft. And that's when Joe Douglas took over. But the money had already been spent. A very odd strategy by the Jets. But we've seen a lot of odd strategies by the Jets over the years. And C.J.Mosley, in the first half of that Buffalo game, which was the 2019 season opener, we're like, oh my God. C.J.Mosley had like an immediate pick six, like doinked up off of a Patriot receiver. I think it was Cole Beasley. And then C.J.Mosley walks into the end zone. Jets end up having a 16-0 lead. We're like, we have arrived, baby. We're going to kick some ass, take some names. And then C.J.Mosley gets hurt on a red zone play. He leaves the game. The Jets blow that game. They end up losing 17-16. Thanks, Kari Vedvik. Again, another name I'm not sure if Jet fans knew was going to be brought up today. It's all in the memory bank. Normally I do this with my therapist, but why not do it for Boy Green Daily for your sick and twisted enjoyment? But then Mosley ends up only playing in 2 partial games that season. That Buffalo game I mentioned, they came back later for New England, but he obviously wasn't right, and then he missed the rest of that year. The following year was a COVID opt-out. C.J.Mosley said, hey, man, for my family's health and safety, I'm opting out. And Jet fans are like, oh, boy, first 2 years of this $85 million contract, this is going to be a classic bust, a free agency guy that didn't work out, that we threw a lot of money at. And then C.J.Mosley, from 2021 through 2023, was one of the best linebackers in football, highlighted by that 2022 season where C.J.Mosley was named a second-team All-Pro. He was a Pro Bowler and had 158 tackles, among the most tackles a Jets linebacker or any player has ever had in the history of this franchise. C.J.Mosley was everything to this team, man. Oh, Captain, my captain is right. A leader, and C.J.Mosley's driving force, because he came from the Baltimore Ravens, an incredibly stable organization that's won multiple Super Bowls. They don't have the iconic history of the Jets of being around forever, but they've just made a tremendous impact. So C.J.Mosley came over from this winning organization, and his driving force was he wanted to turn around the losing at one Jets drive. I don't think there was a player that's played for the Jets, certainly in the 21st century, that had that same passion, that same drive, to say, I want to turn around this loser into a winner, and I want to be here for it. And unfortunately, it never happened for CJ, despite Aaron Rodgers' flirtations and moments. It never happened for CJ, and that feels like a damn shame, to be honest with you. It feels like a damn shame we're not able to win for CJ, because CJ wanted it so badly. He wanted it so badly. I think he's going to have a chance in a couple of years down the road to be a future potential Ring of Honor member here. We'll see. I don't have the list of guys that have been waiting forever or who else is on the list in front of him, but C.J.Mosley should have a legitimate case in a bunch of years for his impact on the team. But speaking of impact on the team, real quick, I want to throw this up because I think C.J.Mosley's impact is going to be felt far after he's gone. Firstly, again, that Ring of Honor thing I said, but also this. Let me throw this up on the screen. This is from Dylan at New York Jets fans only on Twitter. And he shared this graphic, and as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, it sort of made me tear up in general. But you see, C.J. Mosley is the Splinter in this scenario, okay? And he's holding the hands of 2 young Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which are Jamie Sherwood and Quincy Williams. They might be hard to see on the screen. They were just 2 young guppies. Think about that. They both arrived in the 2021 offseason. Jamie in first. He was the number 146 overall pick in that 2021 NFL draft. The Jets drafted Auburn safety, Jamie Sherwood. And then they converted him to linebacker, and it was a slow process, man. It took 3 years. He was a special teamer. He blew out his Achilles one of those years, and just slowly but surely, he was nurtured and learned from one of the greats in C.J. Mosley, and eventually got his opportunity, ironically or not so, where he replaced C.J. Mosley. Mosley's the one who got hurt this year, and that's the only reason Jamie Sherwood got on the field, which led to him receiving one of the highest paid off-ball linebacker contracts in NFL history for Jamie Sherwood. Him stepping up. Be one of the highest paid. He's like a top 7, top 8 in the league, highest paid off-ball linebackers. Jamian started out as a guppy and then learned from CJ over and over. Fast forward a few months, 2021. The Jets scoop up some guy named Quincy Williams older brother of Quinnen Williams, off of waivers. The Jacksonville Jaguars cut the third-round pick, the former Murray State product. And guess what? In 2023, Quincy Williams became an all-pro linebacker. Get out of town, man. And now we go to now, where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have grown up, and now Splinter is the old man. Now these new young guppies have taken over. Ah, God, that plucks at the heartstrings, man. C.J. Mosley's impact was felt during his time here and will be felt long after. Jamin Sherwood is the future of this team. Well, hopefully Quincy is the future of this team. I guess we'll see on contract situations heading into last year of his deal. So I salute C.J. Mosley today. I'm forever going to remember C.J. Mosley in a great light. When I'm at future Jets games and Jets tailgates, I see a C.J. Mosley jersey, I'll give a salute and probably say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." And so it was a complicated story for CJ with a COVID opt-out and then getting hurt. And I'm not saying, COVID opt-out, you have to make your own decisions for your family. And it was an interesting time in our history on this planet. And, C.J. Mosley is just going to be remembered as one of the greats. The Jets have had a lot of great linebackers in their history. There's no question. And I don't want to start naming them, or I don't want to leave anyone out. But there's been some awesome linebackers in Jets history. Kinjo says, now we need an inside linebacker. I mean, you need depth and maybe a guy to develop for the future because, like I said, Quincy Williams entering the last year of his deal. But that's going to be a situation that I think comes up before the official end of his contract because Jamin Sherwood is making more than double what Quincy Williams is making. And Quincy's the all-pro linebacker. Jamin Sherwood is not. So that could be some heat coming in the future. The Jets will have to figure out that situation when we get there. Is Quincy willing to play on this contract? We'll see. I don't know. Matthias says, Frankie from Flatbush. I love Frankie. He does not like the Jets' moves. Frankie has credibility. Well, everyone can have different opinions. I don't think everyone has to love every move or not love every move. I don't love every move that the New York Jets have made. But we could get into that piece by piece and breaking it down and going through. But I like a lot of the moves that the Jets made. CJ. Yeah, I saw Dalvin Tomlinson. He's off the board. He signed with Cleveland. We have not signed to this point. Let me double check. By the way, let me give a shout out to Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, and Woody Johnson. All gave statements, by the way, for the departure of C.J. Mosley. Aaron Glenn was first. Quote, it's hard to move on from a player like C.J. Mosley who's given everything of himself to an organization. From everything we learned about C.J., he is a passionate leader who put the New York Jets first and got the most out of his teammates. We wish him and his family the best as he moves forward with his career. End quote. Darren Muji, I want to thank CJ for his leadership and countless contributions to the Jets. CJ is a consummate professional and consistently held in the highest regard both in our building and around the NFL. I wish him and his family all the best moving forward, end quote. Then finally, Woody Johnson, quote, CJ was the epitome of a class act as a teammate, player, and leader for the last 6 seasons. The passion and commitment he brought each day to the organization inspired his teammates to give their all. We sincerely thank CJ for his countless sacrifices and dedication and wish him all the best moving forward. There you go. All the statements on CJ. Again, it just makes you emotional. That sucks for CJ. Sucks for CJ. Especially go out that way with a neck injury. That was scary. We'll see. If he wants to continue his NFL career, CJ Mosley is going to have ops. He's going to have ops because San Francisco, he developed a great relationship with Saleh. Ulbrich developed a great relationship with Ulbrich down there with the Falcons. Yeah, there's a lot of connective tissue around the league. So if he wants to play, there are going to be opportunities for him. But I'm pulling this up just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. So we got the former Packers offensive lineman, Josh Myers. We got, let me make sure I have the name right, Chukwuma Okorafor. He is the New England Patriots Steelers offensive lineman. Jets brought back Isaiah Oliver. Cool. They brought in Rashad Weaver. That's an interesting one that the Jets brought in. Andre Sisco, Brandon Stevens, Justin Fields, Jamie Chori. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. That's the Jets tracker, Reese. But yeah, we don't have a defensive tackle side. That is curious. What is the Jets plan? Do they have some big trade? Is there some free agent that we're unaware of that the Jets are circling the wagons on? No defensive tackle so far. It's probably the most surprising thing so far. So Kinjo asks, who do the Jets sign today? Well, a defensive tackle would be nice. Still, and they also haven't kicked the tires on any wide receivers yet. That's sort of interesting. So defensive tackle, wide receiver is something to pay attention to. Do they go with another safety, or are they just going to pair Cisco with a rookie? So that's another thing. Off-ball linebacker, again, if there's a cheap guy out there, or a name they like, rather. They've been going for younger people predominantly in free agency. I think actually all of those moves are younger guys, 27 or younger, 28 younger. Taylor Sterling here says, CJ would be remembered for carrying an entire team on his back and mentoring two of the best young linebackers we've had. Great leader. Yeah, absolutely. Salute to the Cap. Salute to Cap. Reese is right. We need a defensive tackle ASAP, and the names are flying off the board. Levi Onwuzurike signed for a 1-year deal for $5.5 million. Now, maybe just took the hometown discount to stay with Detroit, but that one is like, wow, the Jets weren't in on that. It was dirt cheap money. Dalvin Tomlinson, he'd be a big run stuffer. Yeah. Huh. So, yeah, if I had to guess, gun to my head, wide receiver, defensive tackle, those would be the big two. And then, boy, what the hell is happening at tight end? Yikes. That is crazy. We got J-Boy here with a YouTube Super Chat. Every time we get a Super Chat here on the channel, we hear from my beautiful daughter, the one and only, Zraya Luna.
Wow.
J-Boy, CJ will be a Jet forever in my heart. Believe it or not, let me make sure I have this correct before I just carelessly speak, which is something I normally do for a living. I want to make sure I had the time right. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I thought so. So C.J.Mosley spent more time with the Jets than he did the Ravens, which is crazy because, like, you would think, like, oh, yeah, all the Ravens stuff, which was awesome, and how he built his career. He might be remembered more as a Jet, which is sort of crazy. But salute to the Cap, man. Salute to the Cap. J-Boy, let me put this on your docket here. Make sure that we put this down for you. Okay, beautiful. I'll put this down. You already have 5 raffle tickets this month, so we'll put this in the hopper for any future contribution so far this month. But thank you, J-Boy. Well said. Cap, I love it. Keep sending in the wonderful messages for C.J.Mosley. I love to read them. Truman Dumel. I want Michael Mayer to be a New York Jet. I would love him. I loved him coming out of the draft. My dad's a diehard Notre Dame fan, so Notre Dame U has been tight ends. Michael Mayer, John Carlson, Anthony Fasano, Tyler Eifert. Man, I mean, just go through all the names, and I'm going to miss guys. There's been so many awesome tight ends from Notre Dame that have come into the league. Michael Mayer could be the next one. Now, it hasn't happened at the NFL level, so, is he just a bust? Is it the Raiders? Is it the Brock Bowers thing? I don't know. I don't know why he hasn't popped yet, but I'm willing to take a kick of the tires, and he's going to be dirt cheap, like a 6 or 7 round pick, maybe. And they've been actively shopping him. Kincho mentioned a bunch of spots here. So defensive tackle, absolutely. Another safety, again, to pair with Andre Sisco's freewheeling nature makes a lot of sense. Inside linebacker, again, if the price is right. Wide receiver, sure. Right tackle, again, they have Chukwuma Okorafor. I had it written down because I didn't want to mess up his name. He's an exclusive right tackle. So that's sort of your guy. I think you still need another kind of legitimate offensive lineman. So kind of see. And we'll do another show about what else could be happening there at that position. Tight end makes a lot of sense too. Good morning to the Coffee Club and our Coffee Club members in the chat. I appreciate you. Taylor Sterling, Fields picked the Jets over the Steelers. Yes, he did. By the way, Brandon Stevens apparently picked the Jets over the Dallas Cowboys who were talking to him. There's a nugget. Now, some Jet fans would have preferred that the Jets did not apparently outbid the Cowboys for Brandon Stevens, but that's neither here nor there. But didn't want to throw that out there. Jets 830 says, at this point, I don't care what we do. I just want results. Fair enough. Well, you won't get those results for 5 months for a game, but hey, man, there you go. Yeah, our starting linebackers will be Sherwood and Quincy Williams. Again, depending on what happens with Quincy. They could trade him. They could extend him. I don't know. We'll see. James Fowl says, and friggin' Darren Mucci, we trust. Yeah, I mean, some of the moves so far you can kind of look sideways at, like Brandon Stevens. I get that one because he's not just this bona fide superstar, blee, blah, blue. He's sort of got a checkered history there. But besides him, I mean, most of the other ones all sort of make sense. They're not the offseason champ titles, I guess, are suspended. I read Zach Rosenblatt's piece from The Athletic this morning about the Jets are no longer the offseason undefeated champs. So, Alan says, Fields is a dart thrower. This could be fun or very hard to watch. I think that's a good way to put it. Obviously, he has limitations in the passing game from his history. But if Tanner Angstrand, who obviously thought very highly of Justin Fields to select him for this offense, if he's got a plan for him, Justin Fields can be very fun, very exciting. So, yeah, I'm really happy about that. Cindy Sturgis said, CJ was a great team guy, but his inability to play with injuries, not sure how many games played and not played with the Jets. Yeah, I don't have that in front of me. I did write a piece that's in the YouTube description down below. I think I had it listed here. Let me check. Yeah, so he was with the team from 2019 through 2024. During that stretch, he appeared in 56 games, made 55 starts. Now, one season was completely wiped out with COVID. I don't know if you count that for anything. We shouldn't because that wasn't an injury situation. So he missed, so let's see, 2019. That was still in the 16-game era. So he missed 14 of 16 games in 2019. He missed the entire 2020 season with COVID. And then he was an NFL Ironman for 21 through 2023. And then this past season, he only appeared in 4 games, so he missed 13. So, yeah, so 2 seasons he was compromised. Again, putting the COVID one aside, I don't count that one, obviously. So, but besides that, though, he missed 14 in his first year and then 13 this past year. But besides that, he was healthy. So he was here for 6 years. One of the years wiped out from COVID. So 3 of his 2 years, he was fully healthy. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Taylor said we can't get Kupp. Now, maybe Kupp, I don't know what Kupp's looking for. Cooper Kupp is, of course, who Taylor Sterling's reference. He's a straight-up free agent. Does he want to play for a team that is – can anything happen? Of course. But are the Jets competing for a Super Bowl this year? I don't think a lot of people are going to have that on their bingo card. So is Cooper Kupp willing to play for an organization just to be doing whatever he's doing, playing the game of football? He might go to like a Chiefs, Bills, someone like that. Tyler Lockett would be sort of fun. He's a veteran out there, and the longer you hang out in free agency, the cheaper you are. I like Tyler Lockett a lot. He's had some injuries and some invisibility things, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But, yeah, he would be interesting. R&R says that Jets have gotten younger and more athletic. We'll see how that translates to the field. Our number one Austrian Jet fan, oh, captain, my captain. Captain, our captain. Damn straight. Luka still is on the Jedrick Wills train, which I would love. We'll see if they go in that direction. He's still hanging out there. I'd like a 1-year flyer on Jedrick Wills. C.J.Mosley was our G.I. Joe. I like that one, Truman Dumel. Very nice. Alan says Quincy is definitely holding out. We'll see. I don't know. I don't want to speak in absolutes, but it's hard to envision him playing at $6 million per year, lining up next to Jamin Shore playing for $15 million a year. That seems hard to know. Robert Lubinsky says, let's get Tyler Warren at 7. And to be honest, based on all the free agency moves so far, Robert, my favorite for the 7th overall pick is one of 2 players because they have no defensive tackle yet either. It's either Mason Graham or Tyler Warren. And I've been leaning more Tyler Warren right now, but Mason Graham is the more prominent position of importance. But Tyler Warren, he is, as Daniel Jeremiah described him, longtime NFL scout, television draft analyst, he is an extra offensive lineman. And I'm surgically attaching him to whoever the hell is playing right tackle, and he's always going to have a chip. And then we have an extension of the offensive line if we're running any halfback stretch out to the right. Tyler Warren, he's going to be there. And plus, obviously, he gives a security blanket to Justin Fields. So Tyler Warren, Mason Graham, those are 2 picks. And I'd be absolutely thrilled with either. Absolutely thrilled with either. Kevin Callahan says, the one I watch is Calais Campbell. I love Calais. I've been begging for him for years. He's 39. He's old as hell, but incredibly effective. A mammoth of a man. I would love Calais Campbell. Now, again, the Jets have flirted with him a bunch of times, and he's picked other teams over the Jets. He picked the Falcons over the Jets. He picked the Dolphins over the Jets. So maybe maybe it's like he's just not that into you. That could be possible. Again, I love Calais, but I don't know if Calais wants me. So Fire Aaron Glenn chimes in. Enough of Aaron Glenn already. Hasn't even coached a game, and he's got rid of some of our best players. Yeah, goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. Goodbye, C.J. Mosley. Devontae Adams, goodbye. Yeah, it's now I don't think Rodgers and Adams are in the same category of investment from Jet fans as Mosley is, but hey, it's a new era. They are getting younger. Let's see. And that's also part of what Alan says here about the recent inactivity by the Jets for big money deals. I don't think the Jets want to sacrifice a comp pick to sign a vet to a pricey deal. So Cooper Kupp would not count. He was cut. So he does not count for the comp pick formula. Only straight up free agents count. So technically speaking, if the Jets sign Cooper Kupp to a sizable deal, that would have nothing to do with the comp pick formula. So that's something to keep in mind, folks. That is something to keep in mind. The Meadowlands Swamp Thing. Was Zariah Luna named in honor of Zach Wilson? No. No, she was not. But I appreciate that question. My fiance's in the room, and she is now muttering to herself. She is not a Zach Wilson fan. And he's now in the AFC East, so maybe we'll see Zach Wilson. Jet Up says, give me Mason Taylor. I'd love Mason Taylor. I'm curious where the stock is. 42 seems rich for Mason Taylor, but maybe by the time we get to draft time, that'll be a good slot. Boy, if he's available at 73, that'd be nice. Let's dip our that's an LSU tight end, son of Jason Taylor. For me, assuming people know who that is. Yeah, he's looked really good during this pre-draft process. The best tight end in this draft is clearly Tyler Warren, easily. Yeah, there's no question. Fire Aaron Glenn, who's been a member of this channel for a month, which we appreciate.
Wow.
Had a super chat shout out. I've had enough of Aaron Glenn and Darren Mucci. Okay, there you go. Hey, different strokes. We have different levels, I guess, of acceptance. So there you have it. Yeah, different strokes, different folks, I guess. Alan says Warren is the best. We'll go top 10. Yeah, I could definitely see him going top 10. I could see him going to Chicago at 10. I could see him obviously going to the Jets at 7. I could see a lot of different fits for him. A lot of different fits. Yeah, maybe Jacksonville at 5. Maybe Vegas at not Vegas at 6. Excuse me, they have Brock Bowers, but Jaguars at 5. Jets at 7. Saints even. I could see the Saints at the top 10. Bears. Yeah, there's a lot of teams I could see. Shout out to A-Step 10, baby. Good morning. Oh, by the way, I forgot to flip the banner. My apologies, everybody. Here you go. Here's our top 5 leaderboard for our raffles going on this month, which, by the way, let me throw it up on the board here. Here's what you guys are competing for during the month of March. A New York Jets patched up pullover hoodie. It's so cool. I love all the logos. They look awesome. Custom laser engraving Jets Boy Green package and a Super Bowl prize pack, baby. Multiple unique items from past Super Bowls. I think you guys are really going to like that one. If you're NFL-ish, Super Bowl-ish fans, I think they're really cool items. Really cool. So shout out to A-Step 10 and everybody, including A-Step 10, who's number 1 in our contest, baby, so far. Look, 76 raffle tickets. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan, a piece behind at 55. You have For Lily and Big D with 26. You have Jimmy Jetson there at 25. And Devin, a.k.a. DNY for Life, at 17. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you'd like to purchase a raffle ticket, it's just $2.99 a month, or excuse me, it's $2.99 a raffle ticket, excuse me, and you can do that with super chats throughout the month, adding up to that. There's no limit on how many raffle tickets you can have, or you can buy a Boy Green Coffee Club membership for yourself. Down in the YouTube description down below, it says join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. That's only $2.99. So, of course, you get a raffle ticket to our contest. You get all kinds of perks, members-only videos. You get access to all our emojis. You get access to our Discord channel. It's a good time. $2.99, best value out here on the YouTube streets, I do believe. Jet Up. When does Fields put pen to paper? Good question. He's in Dubai, so probably when he comes back to America, I would imagine. Yeah, I don't know how long he's supposed to be in Dubai for, Jet Up. But either way, I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to getting a chance. I don't think I'm going to be on any of those video press conferences, but when the media gets to talk to the players, we get to learn more about all these new Jet free agents that are coming in. And there's more free agents to add, obviously, as well. So that'll be interesting. Taylor Sterling is right. Josh Myers is the starting or the former center of Justin Fields at Ohio State. Again, we'll get more into that. We'll do that as a show probably tomorrow outside of something crazy happening. I really want to get into the Josh Myers AVT offensive line. What does it all mean? So, yeah, we'll look into that. Okay. Easy said, I would love to see CJ retire because of, I'm probably misrepresenting what Easy is trying to say here, but if C.J.Mosley retires because of his neck and goes into coaching, he could probably coach in our team, San Francisco or Atlanta with Ulbrich. Yeah, I mentioned those as possibilities. I would hope if he was going to retire, like by all accounts, he doesn't want to retire based on what we've seen publicly. He has said retirement is not on his mind. It's about getting right. So we'll sort of see what happens there. But I'm not sure. YouTube super chat coming in here. Let me catch up to everybody on everything we got going on.
Wow.
Number one Austrian Jet fan who's been a member for 6 months. Appreciate you, Austrian. Agree, BG. A defensive tackle or tight end at 7. Yeah, that's my gut right now. Here on March 13th, based on the information we have, I would say defensive tackle or tight end is on the docket. And look at this, aced up 10, baby. Good Lord have mercy. $49.99 super chat.
Wow.
Good Lord, we have over 600 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Aced up 10, you are dominating our raffle this month, which, hey, I respect the hell out of, man. Do we get wide receiver 2 in free agency, or are we just going to draft wide receivers early, do I think? Well, first off, aced up 10, thank you so much for the support. I mean, good night. This is unbelievable. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. This is, wow. Good Lord have mercy. Well, let's look at who's available here first off before I answer your question, A-Step 10. Let me go to, let's see if we have an NFL free agent big board here. Let me get a NFL.com, get their best available free agents here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through here. Let's see what wide receivers we still have. Okay. We have Amari Cooper still hanging out there. All right. Stephon Diggs is out there, according to this NFL.com. Let me see. So Amari, we got Stephon Diggs. That's 2. Okay. Elijah Moore, he is available. Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp. That's 5. Who else am I missing? So there are only 5 receivers according to NFL.com's top 101 list. So they've ranked the top 101 free agents, and there are only 5 left that are wide receivers, and those are all the names that I said. Do I think we get a wide receiver 2 in the draft? I think we could get our wide receiver 2 in free agency, to be honest. And then you draft a wide receiver. Like, for instance, a guy like Emeka Ibuka, if you're just going to keep doing the Ohio State thing, and either trade back from 7 or you move up from 42, secure Emeka Ibuka, and either he's your wide receiver 3 that becomes your 2 or just becomes your wide receiver 2. So my guess would be free agency. And maybe you just now, if we're going on this younger thing, let me see if any of these. So Cooper Kupp is 32. Keenan Allen is 33. Elijah Moore is 25. And this new regime has no ties to any of that from yesteryear. So he would fit the profile of wide receivers because these other guys, to be blunt, wouldn't. Stephon Diggs is 31. Amari is 31. So those are over the threshold of the player's age that they've signed so far. Excuse me, bless myself. So, yeah, well, based on the names then of going what I said, I guess I'm going to reverse it. Excuse me. I get emotional when I get ask these kind of questions. But no, I guess there isn't really a wide, unless you believe Elijah Moore is that. And would the Jets be willing, this new Jets regime, knowing the past with Elijah Moore, would they be willing to bring a guy like that in their locker room? That seems unlikely. So, yeah, I guess it's going to be draft. Those free agents that are available don't really fit the profile of what they've signed so far. It doesn't mean they can not change a step. But, yeah, it seems like draft. To me, though, I would probably go free agency and find one of these guys and wait them out a little bit longer because there's a lot of free agents left. And I would probably target a few of them and try to see if I could get them for dirt cheap and bring them in A-step. Now, I'll just tell you overall, just to look ahead, a couple of free agents are still available that I like a lot for the Jets. Let me throw them out there. Calais Campbell, I've mentioned before. Azeez Ojulari, he is a guy I want. He's 25 years of age. He's a pass rusher. You're going to get him for dirt cheap, like on a 1-year deal. What are we doing? So Calais Campbell, yes. Azeez Ojulari, and I'll say where these players are from too. Calais Campbell last year played for the Dolphins, 39 years old. Yes, defensive tackle. Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher from the New York Giants, wouldn't even have to move. He's 25 years old. Hell yes. Give me some of that action here. I don't know if the Jets are going to go in the older edge rusher pool. There's Dante Fowler in here who's coming off a nice year. There's Charles Amenahu. He had a serious injury and a suspension coming, so maybe not there. Darius Smith, he has the Aaron Glenn connection. He's 32. Let's see, who else is here in the free agent streets? Again, Elijah Moore, but I just don't know if the Jets dip their toe in those waters, I'm afraid. And Jedrick Wills, that's the other one that I would love for the Jets at right tackle. So he makes a lot of sense too. A Step 10 will add up your points here and all your extra raffle tickets, but I did just put that in our sheet, so we won't forget it. So A Step 10, thank you. But yeah, in terms of the draft too, let me give you some draft names. Let me go. The top wide receiver draft rankings here. I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. But Emeka Ibuka is a guy I like a lot. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So we got Ted McMillan. He sort of dropped off the board here. He hasn't been as popular that I've seen among wide receivers. So Matthew Golden, he's a speedster from Texas. I've heard a lot about Luther Burden III and some of the versatility there. Again, I like Emeka Ibuka. If he'd be there at 42, that'd be awesome. I'm not sure. You have the Iowa State boys, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll at wide receiver. You have Jack Besh. We've talked about him. Isaiah Bonds, another speedster. Xavier Restrepo. He was at the Senior Bowl. I'm trying to see any other names. So, yeah, that's a bunch of them. But, yeah, I imagine they're definitely grabbing a receiver in this draft as well. But good question. Yeah, if it was up to me, I'd take a veteran, wait them out another week or two, see whatever veteran wide receivers are out there, and then once those markets are over, their prices will go down, and I would take a flyer on one of those guys. But either way, if they sign a veteran or not, I still think we're getting we're going to draft a receiver. But appreciate you, A Step 10. Thanks for supporting the show. Clicking a view says Stefan is a headache. Yeah, so that seems anti what they've been doing here. Oh, Galatron. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hey, Boy Green. When was the last time the Jets drafted an offensive player in the first round? Olu Fashanu last year. But if you're talking about like a skill position player, I don't think that's... Oh, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, there you go. Boom. 2022. Garrett Wilson, top 10 pick. But yeah, obviously there's been Olu Fashanu, there's been Mekhi Becton, if you count the offensive lineman. The last running back, was that Blair Thomas in 1990? That's possible. Let me go off the top of my head. Tight end, obviously we've had a Kyle Brady. Dustin Keller more recently. That was in 2008, I believe. This is just all off the top of my head. Wide receiver might have been Santana Moss and Garrett Wilson, and I'm trying to just think of some other ones. Obviously, we've had all the quarterbacks, obviously, the top 5 picks. We've had 3 of those was Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, Mark Sanchez since 2009. Mentioned the wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. And then you had Santana Moss, Johnny Lamb Jones. We're going all throughout history. Tight ends, Kyle Brady, Dustin Keller. Running backs, Blair Thomas, Bull. Yeah, that's a lot of them. But yeah, good to see you, Galatron. It's been a while. It's good to see you in the chat, man. Yeah, Malachi Corley, again, we don't know what he's going to be, so it's hard for me to really say anything about it. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Expectations are low, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Jet Up says Keenan Allen, 1 year, $10 million. I'd do it. He might even be cheaper than that. We'll see. But yeah, I like Keenan Allen a lot. He's a real technician. Gautron says, I would be happy if they picked the safety from Notre Dame with the number 7. That kid is an animal. I'm assuming you're talking about Xavier Watts. Yeah, he's a talented player. Yeah, he would be a 42 option if the Jets are going to go that high. I would also like Nick Emanwari if he's available. He's been getting a lot of first-round buzz, so he might not be. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Yeah, Stephon Diggs coming off the torn ACL. Jay the GM says Diggs was a captain in Houston. How is he a headache? I would just say the headache is, as someone that does sports talk radio for a living and being around Buffalo Bills fans, Stephon Diggs tweets a lot of cryptic shit all the time. And like, I don't want to say pokes fans, but he kind of like enjoys stirring the pot. But he seems like once he's in the building, like he's a really good teammate, a good football player, and stuff like that. So that's a good one too. And yes, I missed that one, Jared B. Anthony Becht, the 2000 draft, the 4 first-round picks. Chad Pennington, John Abraham, Sean Ellis, Anthony Becht. Good one. That's a good pull. Nice job, Jared. Good pull. I like that. Johnny Mitchell. There's another good one for Hep. There's another good one. Yep. Yep. Gallatron again. You think the Jets are leaning more towards offense, defense, the first round possibility of Jets trading down? Again, I think we need to let free agency continue to play out. I don't think the Jets are done yet. I think there are more moves to be made here. I'm not saying they're massive splashes, but let's kind of see. Like, if they don't address defensive tackle, I mean, boy, I guess my lean would be defense. And the head coach is defense, so that might lean towards something. A lot of the additions have been on defense. Let me count them out. Let's see where we're at. So Sherwood stays. That's defense. I don't know if that counts, but I'll count that one. Justin Fields offense. That's 1-for-1. Brandon Stevens defense. That's 2-1. Andre Sisco 3-1. Rashad Weaver 4-1. Isaiah Oliver 5-1. You have what is that? Chuck Wuma Okora 4. So that's 5-2. All right, you have Josh Myers, that's 5-3. So it's been more defense than offense so far. So maybe that speaks to offense early. I don't know. I don't know if that's real or not. But what am I leaning? Again, I think if Mason Graham is there, the Jets are making that pick. If he's not there and Tyler Warner's there, I think they're making that pick. That's my gut right now, Gallatron. That is my gut at this current point. Yeah, Gallatron. Watts. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Yes. As am I and my father. So yes. Gator McCluskey says the Jets wouldn't be any of these free agents' first choice. That's probably true. Yeah, even Elijah with everything that's happened. Amari probably not. Who else am I missing? Stephon probably not. Keenan and stuff. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, depending on how they feel about Justin Fields, I guess. All wide receivers are divas. That's fair. Joe, obviously Penn State Joe says Keyshawn Johnson. We can't forget about him in the late 90s. That's correct. Number 1 overall. I'm seeing Keenan Allen, Zadarius Smith. A lot of good options here. All right, why don't we do this? We'll open up the phone lines for the last bit of the show. If you'd like to call into the show and spread positivity, negativity, reactions, anything, or I'd like to tell a great, nice story on C.J. Mosley, feel free. We're going to open up the phone lines, and those will be available next right here on Boy Green Daily as our show continues. Also, keep in mind at 3 o'clock, Green Bean will hop on with James Woody at 3 o'clock live on this channel. I can't wait. So, quick Hep song, more coming up here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go.
Damn straight, Hep. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We got 700 people in the bleeping room, baby. This channel's been growing like nobody's business, so continue to water this plant, give it a nice pet, and throw some stuff at it, baby. So like the video, hit subscribe. The phone lines are now open. That is the pinned comment on youtube.com/BoyGreen25. If you're watching in 2 of the other live ways, Twitter at BoyGreen25 or Heavy on Jets Facebook page, jump over to youtube.com/BoyGreen25, BOY, green the color, GREEN25, and you guys can call into the show. That is the pinned comment. If you watch after the fact or the audio-only version, we also appreciate you. God bless. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got EZ, the resident OC, here on the channel.
Good morning, Jet Nation.
Yeah, what's popping?
I haven't even had my coffee yet.
Oh.
I didn't even know I was working today. I lobbied to get some work today. It's slow. I'm like not happy. But anyway, I'm happy about some of the stuff that's going on. How much cap space do we save by cutting CJ? Not that I'm happy about it. I just was curious about if there's any upside to it.
Yeah, there will be eventual upside, so I have it right here. He was designated as a post-June 1 cut, which means his remaining cap hit, that's $16.5 million, is going to be spread over 2 years. That's $8.8 million this year, $7.7 next year. The Jets have to carry his $12.8 on the books until June 1st. They will eventually see a cap savings of $4 million, but that won't come until June 2nd.
Okay.
So not great. Long story short, not great money savings there.
Nah, but the reason I made that posting, I don't know if what I said was I hope he retires because, you know, whenever I hear a neck injury, that's like,
oh yeah,
that means life threatening. You don't play with that. He's got enough money. He's a young man. He's got family.
Yes.
You don't play with that. You just don't.
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
My if I tweak my neck, I'd be like, I think I'm good. Got 50 mil in the bank. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And hey, I don't blame you. That's.
I'd love him to coach, though. I would love to see him coach, because this way he could still see, for a young guy like CJ who is hurt and maybe wants to still be around football. Coaching is great because he'll still have the locker room. He'll still have the camaraderie. He'll still be able to travel and you know, it's kind of doing what he did this year.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what he did this year. Really being, again, that coach, which has been sort of cool to see. And like I said, I love him a lot. So it'd be really cool for me if we were able to get that from CJ. I hope so. We'll see. Again, he still apparently has a desire to play. So we'll see if that changes based on doctor's
CJ, hang him up. Hang him up, CJ. You made your money. You're great. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, so I hope he's okay.
Yeah, besides, it's always better to leave a year early than a year late anyway.
That's for sure. You want to leave on your own feet, not on a stretcher. So, yeah.
I'm sure Robert Saleh would take him as a coach somewhere.
Oh, yeah, he's in San Fran, Ulbrich in Atlanta. There's another former I can't remember. There's some Mosley connection like in Tennessee somewhere or something. I heard someone talk about that on social media, so.
Yeah, I think that Quincy is going to probably want some more money. I don't know that he'd hold out. I don't think it'll come to that. And there's a reason for that. It's the Quinnen factor. You don't want to piss off Quinnen too. I mean, they're kind of like a two peas in a pod, you know. I mean, they've been alternating all pro status as how good they are. So you basically got, you know, two guys that are happy to be here, happy to be playing on the same squad. So that kind of adds a little bit of a dynamic as to why you may be able to leverage a little bit more money for Quincy. And maybe that had a little bit something to do with them cutting CJ also, you know, maybe they figured, you know, we got to keep this guy, you know, got to keep him. As much as I would have loved for the CJ to be happy, healthy, and play another year. We got to, that old saying, love the one you're with. And if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with, you know?
Yeah, so. And I would just say, let's say C.J.Mosley is healthy. Where's he playing? Jamin just got $45 million. He's not on the bench. Quincy Williams was an all-pro at like 26. Well, he's not sitting the bench. So C.J.Mosley is going to be your rotational sub-package third linebacker in 4-3 when you're in base. And then are they even going to be in base? Are they running 3-4? I don't even know what's going to be the primary usage of Steve Wilkes. So
didn't they run a 4-3 in Detroit?
They ran a 4-3 in Detroit, but apparently the roots of AG is 3-4 from what Lions people have told me. But he didn't use it because of the schematics, the players that he had available. He just bends it to whatever he has. So it'll be curious to see. So I don't even know how CJ would have fit in if he was healthy. So
because I think if they can get Mason Graham, they'll stick with 4-3. If they can't get Mason Graham, maybe they go linebacker and go 3-4.
And if they do, then I want Quinnen pushed out to end. I don't want him to be our nose tackle.
No, he's not a very big interior lineman. He's a big guy, but he's not like a 330. You know, he's not a Haloti Ngata type of guy.
So, yeah, that's what I'll be curious on scheme. Again, I think you're right. They'll sort of bend it. If you get a Mason Graham, maybe you're going to set up differently because he's not going to be a rotational guy just a Quinnen. He's going to be on the field a lot if you're investing that sort of a pick in him. So, yeah, that'll be curious. I'm fascinated to see it, Easy.
But I wouldn't mind seeing Cooper Kupp come here. I mean, here's the type of receiver I want, though. This is the type of receiver I want. I don't need a stupid fast guy right now. Here's what I want. After the last couple of years, I want a guy who has a very, very, very high completion percentage and is a good route runner. You know, someone who runs a good route and doesn't drop the ball. That's what I want.
That sounds
reliable.
Like some good trades.
That's what I want.
All right, well, we'll see if we can find it for you, Easy. That'd be nice. Boy, do we need exactly what that is. By the way, let me flip up the raffle board. That is now 93 bleeping raffle tickets for A-Stuff 10, baby. He has been kicking ass and taking names, brother. I love it. So we've just updated the big board there. A-Stuff 10, you are dominating, my friend. All right, before we get back to the phone lines, let me make sure I don't miss this. We have another super chat coming in, and that skips the queue, as they say. Let's send that through.
Wow.
Ant Jets 82, rank 1 through 3 in order of need. Wide receiver, defensive tackle, tight end. Ooh, okay. I'm going to, and here's, I'll also explain how I'm rating this. I think it's importance to the team as well, because they're all needs, obviously. But defensive tackle is number 1. You need to stop the run. If you can't stop the run, that is the most demoralizing thing in the world. You need to be able to stop the run. So defensive tackle is number 1 on the list. Tight end's number 2. They have Jeremy Bleepin Ruckert at tight end. That's the only tight end on the roster, man. Good Lord. Maybe Jeremy Ruckert rekindles an old flame, potentially, with Justin Fields and the Ohio State thing, maybe. But I don't know, man. And then I put wide receiver last. Now, wide receiver is still important. You know, Garrett Wilson needs a running mate, but at least you have Garrett Wilson there, you know. I guess you could make the same case for Quinnen, but yeah, that's it. Defensive tackle, tight end, wide receiver. They're all needs, but if I am forced to do it in super chat fashion to answer your question, that's how I'd answer it. So appreciate the question, Ant Jets 82. We've put this down towards your raffle ticket total coming up for later this month. There you go. God bless. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Here up next, we got June the GM here on the program.
Hey, good morning, Paul.
Oh, I like the hat. Very nice.
Oh, thank you, sir. Kind of interesting, man. I've been, kind of looking at our lack of movement in free agency. Is, I'm not trying to be negative. We don't know what's the vision, but so far, a couple of head scratching things going on. Like when we're not addressing, if free agency is to address needs and the draft is to get value, we're not addressing many needs right now. I don't feel like we needed the kid from the Ravens, Stevens, when we had Echoes in house, who to me has more upside than the kid Stevens. We should have just gave Echoes a little bit of change in his pocket. We let him walk, one of my favorite Jets. That didn't make me happy.
And he probably got dirt cheap. I haven't seen the financials on Brandon Echols, but it was a 1-year deal, so I imagine it's nothing money. And Brandon Stevens got decent money, so yeah, that's an interesting on the eval.
More money than the other big boy that we ain't even take a whiff at. The safety, right? Didn't he get more money than the safety that signed for $30-something million? The Holland?
Oh, yeah. He got a 3-year deal for just under $40 million with the Giants. So yeah, right. He got basically the same money.
So I'm some of these are head scratching. And then I keep hearing from a lot of people, hey, don't worry, we're gonna address it in the draft. Well, hold up a minute now.
We only have 8 picks. Yeah,
we only got 8 picks. And since when do rookies come in and just dominate the game? That's not how it works here. So I don't know if some big trades are coming.
Yeah, maybe.
It seems so far, and this is just my opinion.
Sure.
I don't like the way things are flowing so far. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the way we attacked the free agency. Justin Fields was a gimme. What else we were gonna do? Who were we gonna sign? Me off the bench? We had to get him, right? I mean, it is what it is. But aside from that, I don't like. We talked about the Cisco. That's been my favorite pickup so far. Cisco.
I love it. Value, a lot of it. I agree.
But I'm not gonna lie. I would have tried to lock. He's only 20. I would have tried to lock him down for more than a year. I get it. He wants to show and prove and get big money. Man, I would have been like, look, man, forget that. 3 years. Give him the 3 years, 30-something. Not the kid Stevens. You understand? I'm not understanding. And then now, the draft is not looking now, according to the moves we made, as the type of draft that we can go best player available. That's not what it's speaking to me. That's not.
I
what
don't
it's
think so. Yeah, I think
We're
we have
saying,
to.
let's
Yeah,
pray Mason Graham drops, and if
yeah,
Mason Graham doesn't drop, we're gonna have to go what, receiver or tight end, because we're bearing the cover. There's nothing there.
yeah.
There's nothing there. We have no weapons on offense aside from the running backs. They're gonna stack the line. You do know that's how teams are gonna play us. They're gonna put 10 and 9 in the box, right? They're gonna stack the box on us. So we need some weapons aside from Gabbard. They're double Gabbard. That's not a problem. And he's not the best coming off double coverage. We do know that. So I don't know, Paul. Let me ask you a question. What do you think is what do you think they're doing, man? Because I honestly have no idea from the moves that's being made. I can't put my finger on it, man. Honestly.
Now, the one thing I'll say about BPA that the Jets could try to sell us if they go like for a Tyler Warren, Daniel Jeremiah's been doing this a long time. As Tyler Warren, the last time I checked, is the number 5 overall player on his big board. So they could say, hey, we got BPA and need. There was a marriage of what happened. So if and I imagine he would still be on the board outside of something crazy, that he would still be there. Because if he's not there, that means someone else should be that wasn't originally scheduled.
Right.
So
putting that aside.
Yeah, but no, going to your point of like, what's the plan? We are in the position where we don't know the plan. And so we are seeing it in reverse. We're seeing the players are signing. Like, for instance, I've been doing these YouTube video shorts, like these 3, 4, 5-minute videos, whatever they are, as the news is coming in, and I'm doing it in order. So, okay.
Great job, by the way, with that. Great job with that.
I appreciate that. So, for instance, right, the guy's name is Chuck Wuma Okorafor. He gets signed first, and he's exclusively a right tackle. I'm like, well, that must be their plan for right tackle. Okay. And then I do that video. And then new information comes in. Oh, wait, they signed the Green Bay Packers starting center for the last 3 years, Josh Myers. I'm like, is he now? Does that mean so that's what I'm saying. We've been handed a box of puzzle pieces, and we're opening it up. And we're getting all these pieces out of order. We're like, oh, okay, this means this. No, wait, I just found this piece. Oh, does this mean? So to your point, with so many holes, again, for me, starters, tight end, you don't have a starter on the roster. Defensive tackle, not named Quinnen Williams. You don't have a starter on the roster. You are missing at least one starter at safety. I wouldn't say at least. Cisco's going to start. You're missing a starter at safety. Again, unless Brandon Stevens is flipping back there, but it doesn't sound like it. All the Jets keep telling me is it's corner, corner, corner. So it sounds like he's going to attempt to, quote unquote, replace DJ Reed. I don't see the pieces yet, but as mentioned earlier, is there a sneaky tight end trade that's being worked here? Are they talking to the Eagles about Dallas guy? Are they talking to the Raiders about Michael Mayer? Okay. Oh, that was the plan. Oh, we're not seeing it here in the streets of free agent at the eye level here. This is executive suite that I don't have access to. Oh, we see you guys aren't doing a tight end action, but actually upstairs you guys are working on a tight end trade. That's what we don't see. Yeah. What's up?
This could be a reach. Somebody had mentioned on one of these channels.
All right.
They're thinking about moving Tippmann to a guard.
Yes.
And then bringing in, maybe that's why we got the Packers center, who's obviously a good center. I always look at centers like this. The quarterback behind you play well, because the center is like the conductor on the field.
Yeah,
so,
of course. Yeah.
Maybe they're bringing him to center, moving Tippmann out to guard, then moving Tucker once again for the 35th time to the outside right tackle. So maybe it's some of that. This is the vibes I'm getting, though.
All right, go ahead.
We don't have a draft day surprise type of draft. Some dude that none of us envision. Oh, whoa, who's that? Let's look him up. I don't want that, and that's the vibe I'm getting. So I'm going to trust the process, but I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit underwhelming so far for me.
And by the way, June, appreciate the call. That's a fair take to have. I don't think any of us have to come out and say, man, the Jets hit a home run in free agency if we don't believe they did. We don't just have to make up BS if you don't believe so. To me, it's a long offseason. We are here on March 13th. The official start of free agency hasn't even undergone 24 hours yet. So I will preach patience for myself. Hey, you guys are all allowed to have whatever opinions you want on the subject matter. To me, I will preach patience. There's a lot of the moves I like. Some moves I scratch my head at, but that's been a good combination. There's a lot of offseason left to go. So we'll see. Let's get one more caller in here. Then I got a dip. Let's finish it off with Ricky New York here on the program. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, what's happening, Paul? I kind of get what June is saying, but it's not it's not so much our moves, but let's be honest, okay?
Okay. Sure.
There hasn't been like a, AJ Brown trade or like free agency in general. When I'm looking over the list of names, this year free agency is rather uninspiring as a whole.
Yeah, the only trade has been DK. DK's been the one big wide receiver trade, but
yeah, that was like the one big move. But I mean, you got, Diggs, who's coming off of an injury. You got
torn ACL. Yep.
You got Amari Cooper, who looked like he was pretty much done last year. He did not really do much in Buffalo at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, like, I'm looking at some of the names like Joey Bosa. Dude, he's more name than production these days.
He has been the last 3 years. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, really, if I really had to look at it, like one of the only, like, not trades, but true, like free agent players, it was probably DeMarcus Lawrence.
Oh yeah, went to Seattle. My dad's really upset about that. Yeah, he's really sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but other than that, like, there ain't really. I take that back. Nick Bolton was a good player.
Oh, I love Nick Bolton. Yeah, he stays with Kansas City. Yeah.
But other than that, like, I mean, this has been a really uninspiring, free agency to begin with. Now,
yeah.
This is what I'm going to say about the draft. And
all right.
I've done so many mock drafts, I can't even see straight at this point.
Sure.
However, I'll tell you from doing mock after mock, that the way that I've been doing, like, if you take that defensive tackle, at 7, Tyler Warren's not there when you make your next pick. And the drop off between Warren and the next guy is fairly substantial.
Yeah, there are some Colston Loveland people, but I'm not quite there.
Yeah, but he's pure pass catcher. He doesn't do anything for
correct.
You blocking
yes,
game.
Right.
Whereas Tyler Warren's a pit bull in the blocking game and can catch.
Yeah.
So now when I take Tyler Warren at 7, I get to pick 42, and quite a few times, like, Tyleek Williams is sitting there. Perfect compliment for Quinnen. So
maybe that's the play. Yeah.
The more that I've done that, and my real conundrum is when I get to 73, because whether it's Isaiah Bond, Jack Besh, whoever, if you take one of those guys, then you're not getting your right tackle. And I'm sorry, we get to 73, I'm gonna draft Ozzie every time.
Yeah.
But none of those receivers are going to be there when we get back to 109, our next pick after that. So that it's really that third rounder. Like, what do you do with that? Now, I will say, if we were to pass on Tyler Warren, a guy that I like a whole lot, who knows, maybe we could get at that 109 spot, would be Terrence Ferguson, the tight end.
Yeah, Oregon. Yeah.
Really, really good. He's kind of like a young Dallas Goedert.
I like
very,
that.
very similar playing style. And for what it's worth, I mean, I know people are going, "Oh, we need our picks, don't trade them." You know what? Let me tell you something right now. The Eagles want a 4th rounder for Goddard, but ain't nobody paying it. So maybe they take a 5th rounder. You know what? We got 2 5th rounders. I would give pick number 157 for a Dallas Goedert right now.
Okay.
Right now. That's just me speaking, but I would. And I'm not going to lose my mind over the free agent signing so far, because I think you referenced it, and I've heard DJ and a couple other people say it too. Brandon Stevens was like, he was always in the right position to make plays.
Yep.
for whatever reason didn't. And you want to bag on the kid for that. Look at Sauce. How many times has Sauce had an interception right in his hand?
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Brandon Stevens is Sauce, not by any stretch, but I'm just saying,
right.
And for our coach, who's a former Pro Bowl corner himself, maybe he can talk to this kid and tell him, when you see that, when you see those hands start to go up, you got to get your head around,
Right. And maybe that could be coached, which again, if you just sort of trust this coaching staff, Ricky, that could be a way to do it. I know we're running out of time, but thank you for the call, Ricky. I'll get one more call in just a second. We have a super chat coming in. Easy says you have 2 5s, 2 6s trade up if need be. So yeah, you have the combinations to get quality over quantity if you want to. So the Jets do have 2 5s, 2 6s as well. Easy, you now have an official raffle ticket to our contest at the end of the month. Salute to you. EZ. All right, let's get one more call in. I'm sorry to everybody else that's waiting here. We got a Chitty Bang here on the channel. What's up, Chitty?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother.
What's up, man? Good morning. Yeah, I was just gonna say that there are times, where you want your organization to make the sexy free agent pick, and I don't think we're there yet. I think that we have to also be realistic about where we are and this, rebuild, because we are rebuilding, let's be honest, or retooling, whatever you want to say it. And there will be a day where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be against them waiting so long to get really filling up the holes. But if we go to the first week and there's a semi backup starting for us, I'm not going to be outrageous about that because I don't see us winning a Super Bowl this year regardless. You know what I mean? This is more of a year about seeing how the players respond to this coaching staff and this organization and seeing if the culture has really shifted. That's the barometer to me. So I when it comes to the draft, I think they should still take best player available. If it's Membu, take him. If it's Tyler Warren, you think is the best player available, take him. Whoever the best player is available at any position, take him. I think how we measure success right now should be how these players respond to this coaching staff, how the scheme is working, how Justin Fields work within the scheme. A lot of people are impatient, and I get it because we've been bad for forever. But it's gonna be some time. It's just we gotta be realistic with this. It's gotta be some time, and we're not the organization that the high talented players want to go to right now. We just had a complete overhaul of the organization. So I'm not surprised by what's going on here.
And you shouldn't be. And great call, Chitty. Again, and FFL98 is saying it in the chat as well, that not every hole can be filled by just a star. And not even just a star. He believes that some will be late-round picks, undrafted free agents, or names that we just don't have a long history with that we're going to be able to believe in. By the way, I want to throw this in as we're getting out of here. It is official. Aaron Rodgers' name was on the league's transaction wire last night with a post-June 1 designation. There was no official announcement from the Jets after the fact. So both June 1 post designations are cashed in by the Jets at a C.J. Mosley and Aaron Rodgers. Josina Anderson said, here's a little nugget on our way out, that the Jets had trade conversations with at least 5 or 6 teams about Aaron Rodgers at the NFL Combine before cutting ties. So, hey, the Jets tried to say, can we flip this guy for something? And it always seemed unlikely because of the obviousness of them moving on, and thus no one was willing to give up a pick. So for anyone out there that said, why don't we just trade him? There you go. And real quick, Ricky's asking the question, BG, how many picks did Cisco have in college? He had 13 in 3 years, 12 in his first 2 years. That's crazy, but true. And his last year he got hurt. So he had 13 picks in college. He's had 8 picks in the pros. He's had 21 picks over the last 7 years. That sounds pretty gosh darn good for what the Jets need. Sorry to everyone else who's waiting on the phone lines. My apologies. I got a dip for my family. We got something going on here right before the radio show. But God bless everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to the 800 people in the room. Like the video. Hit subscribe. Again, we'll be back on at 3 o'clock. Green Bean joins James Woody right here on the channel for Boy Green Meets Woody. I can't wait. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you later. Take care.